Here are a few of the strangest health remedies people actually believe. Number 9. Wheatgrass enema. If someone told you to put lawn through a juicer and stick it where the sun don't shine, you'd probably think they were threatening you in some way. But this is a service that people are shelling out large sums of money for in fancy holistic spas. According to its proponents, wheatgrass is a wonder plant, and one shot of its juice will, amongst other things, provide you with a full day's worth of veggies, help you lose weight, detoxify your body, and oxygenate your blood. Oh, and apparently, all of its many benefits are greatly increased if you pour it in the exit rather than the entrance. Apparently, you'll easily feel the purifying action of the wheatgrass on your liver and colon. Yeah, that's probably just that cold liquid feeling. You'll also supposedly notice that you'll have an abundance of energy, thanks to the vitamins entering into the bloodstream directly. Okay. Unfortunately, wheatgrass isn't as miraculous as people claim it to be. For starters, any claim that a product will detoxify you should be approached with caution. In case you guys didn't know it, we already have a couple amazing detoxifiers in our body, called the kidneys. The most effective way to detox is probably just by drinking water. To date, no randomized controlled trials have been conducted to assess the effectiveness of any commercial detox diets in humans. So yeah, that's one thing going for the marketers. But if I had to make a bet, these detox diets probably work just as well as drinking water. Number 8. Detoxifying foot patches. This one is a relatively new piece of pseudoscience, and it's been a real hit with the kind of people who spend a lot of their time trying to flush toxins out of their body. I mean, why not just let your kidneys do its job? Anyways, these detoxifying foot pads are made to be stuck to the bottom of your feet overnight, where it supposedly will suck out the toxins from your body. The proof that this remedy claims is that in the morning, when you peel off the patch, it'll be a nasty black color, and these are supposedly all of the toxins it's rescued you from. Because the skin has a low permeability, which ironically is in order to keep toxins out, the bamboo vinegar in these pads are able to pull any toxins in your body through your feet. I'm still trying to understand why and how anyone who sat through an 8th grade science class can actually believe stuff like this. Actually, all that's going on at the bottoms of people's feet is that the chemical in the patch are just reacting with the sweat on people's feet, turning them black. You can achieve the same effect by running these patches under a hot faucet or holding them over some steam. Any benefits felt by the people who use these patches are just a placebo effect. Number 7. EARWAX for cold sores. A red lesion on the lip or near the mouth is embarrassing and probably painful. We've all been there, whether it's a pimple or an accidental bite or something even worse. But hopefully one thing we haven't all done is put earwax on it. It's estimated that 2/3 of American adults are infected with the virus that causes cold sores or fever blisters. Making those things go away on their own can definitely be challenging. So I guess this means that desperate times call for desperate measures for some people. The few things you'll need for this, remedy is earwax and a strong stomach. You'll need to mine your own ears for earwax, or at least someone that's willing to give you theirs. Thankfully, no crafty marketer out there has decided to go ahead and bottle up and sell this remedy yet. Supposedly you won't need a ton, so no need to go heavy on the earwax. You just apply the earwax directly to the cold sore and rub it in as much as you can. Then you leave the earwax on at least for several hours and repeat as needed. Of course, the final and probably most important step here is to not get carried away. Well, there is actually scientific proof that around 25% of humans do have earwax with immunostimulating and antiviral properties. However, there isn't any actual proof out there that it works. Maybe they couldn't find people to be guinea pigs for the experiments. Number 6. Hard-boiled eggs and silver coins on bruises. This old wives' tale claims that if you have a bruise, just use a hard-boiled egg. Supposedly, the black and blue pigment from your bruise will be transferred over to the egg. Does that sound like anything that it makes sense yet? Depending on how severe the injury is, you may also need to put a copper coin inside the yolk, right after the egg is boiled and peeled. And oh yeah, don't let that egg cool, because come on, everyone knows that the egg needs to be hot. You then apply that hot egg immediately to the bruise for 15 to 20 minutes. Once the time's up, the bruise will go away and the copper coin will turn black. Does any of this sound like it makes sense? I hope not. Supposedly the egg has vitamins and proteins that get into your skin, and the heat from the egg opens up your pores. The circular motion of rubbing the egg on your skin helps the blood move. I mean, why actually eat eggs at all? Why not just rub eggs all over your body? Some people even recommend not showering for 24 hours afterward. But really though, I'm still confused about the coin part. What does the coin do? What I don't recommend is giving yourself a bruise on purpose to try this remedy out, because I can pretty much guarantee your egg will remain white and your skin will remain bruised. Number 5. Peeing on a jellyfish sting. You've probably heard that the best way to reduce the pain and swelling from a jellyfish sting is to pee on it immediately. Remember that episode of Friends where Monica reveals the story of when Chandler had to pee on her leg? It's a very popular natural remedy, and chances are you've probably heard of it at one time or another. The belief behind this remedy is that the acidic pH of urine helps break down the jellyfish toxin and reduce pain from the stings. But urine isn't always acidic, because the pH of your pee varies depending on what you eat, and even when it is acidic, it isn't enough to effectively neutralize the alkaline venom. Unfortunately, in the real world, treating a jellyfish sting by urinating on it might actually cause someone in Monica's situation even more pain rather than relief. Urine can actually aggravate the jellyfish's stingers into releasing more venom. That said, the warm feeling of urine on the sting might have a placebo effect, which probably temporarily helps with the pain. Number 4. Sunburn relief. The internet is absolutely flooded by home remedies for everything. Just Google search home remedy sunburns and you'll see all sorts of interesting concoctions people are recommending and using on themselves. Apparently, food products on sunburned skin are an all-time favorite. These include, but certainly aren't limited to, mayonnaise, mustard, tomato juice, fruit and vegetable slices, egg whites, milk, buttermilk, and even Dr. Pepper. Why not just add some vinegar to the mix as well, since we're already in the kitchen? Not only are these messy, they're just straight up weird. But what's really interesting is that what's supposedly causing the placebo effect is just the temperature of the product, whether it's refrigerated or at room temperature. Sure, cold mayonnaise probably feels good, I guess, if you can stand the smell, but it's because it's cold, not because it's mayonnaise. Apparently, someone desperate thought about using Vagisil as well, but other people have also shared their experience using Colgate toothpaste, Tide laundry detergent, as well as sandalwood paste and vodka. The vodka makes the most sense out of all of them. As long as you drink the vodka, that is. Number 3. Super glue to stitch cuts. Super glue has a long track record of fixing things that are broken. But what happens when that broken thing is on yourself? Could you use super glue on yourself? Apparently, some people have tried to super glue themselves back together. Super glue was originally created in 1942 in an attempt to find a material that was suitable to make clear plastic sights for guns. The material they experimented with just wasn't suitable for this purpose, obviously because it was just way too sticky. But it was suitable for plenty of other applications, something researchers didn't really discover until almost 20 years later. But while it's a myth that superglue was originally invented as the way for soldiers to close their wounds on the battlefield, it is true that, historically, superglue was reappropriated to be used to close some small wounds. The main idea here is that you use superglue on small cuts and wounds that aren't as deep for quick closure. While it's true that there is a medical adhesive called Dermabond, the formulation for Dermabond is different than store-bought superglue. Some people on the internet even recommend using superglue on the face instead of getting stitches to help with reduced scarring. Come on guys, do I need to tell you not to superglue yourself together with store-bought superglue and to seek a medical professional if you need stitches? Number 2. Onions on feet. A viral message making the rounds on social media claims that placing some sliced raw onions on the bottom of your feet and securing them with white socks before going to bed will somehow take away sickness overnight. Does any of this sound fishy to you? Supposedly the onions absorb toxins from your body. Some people also say these onions on your feet prevent the flu. Come on, people! Strapping raw onions to your feet probably won't do you any harm. Well, bodily harm, that is. Dating life is a different story. Anyways, there's no scientific findings that onions on the bottom of your feet will cure anything that's bothering you. The claim that onions are toxin absorbers is basically just false, as is the related claim that you should never save a leftover onion because it supposedly will absorb all the toxins in the air in your refrigerator. Seriously, how do people come up with this stuff? This is essentially a revised version of an old claim to the effect that onions are a magnet for bacteria, so therefore it's not even safe if you put it in a Ziploc bag. It's true that 500 years ago, it was believed that throwing onions around the home protected against the plague. One, that belief was based on an ignorance of what actually causes infectious diseases and how they spread. Two, the theory behind it wasn't that onions absorb germs or toxins, but rather that onions absorb noxious odors, which was thought at the time to be the main vehicle of contagion. Ah, science. Number 1. Socks and bacon. This so-called remedy calls for greasing your throat with bacon fat and then wrapping a sock around the throat. The logic behind this one is hard to pin down, but the idea may have started in England. This treatment may have induced sweating, which was believed to help rid the body of germs. The socks also likely labeled people with serious throat ailments, so it probably served as a warning for other people to steer clear. But as far as sore throat goes, let's not forget about bacon fat. The recipe goes something along the lines of cutting slices of salt pork or bacon fat, simmering it for a few moments in hot vinegar, and then sliding it down the throat with that fat wrapped around a piece of string. Wow, I'm definitely extremely happy to be alive in this century. Here's what's next.
Horns arising from burn scars. Some researchers actually believe that it's caused by a particular strain of HPV. You know, that pesky STD that most people have that we discussed before. So yeah, technically your figurative horniness, which could lead to recklessness, which in turn could lead to literal horniness.